Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the UKSA's Better Racing League. I'm Lewis Edwards, and today we'll be bringing you round 2 of the season. We will be here at Silverstone for the second race of the season, and we should be getting underway fairly shortly. Hopefully, we're having a few technical difficulties with the lobbies at the moment. But not to worry, we'll get those fixed very shortly for you. So last time out, we saw Moti Peretz in the Ferrari begin his championship challenge with a solid 25 points for the win. It turned out that getting the least number of penalties and being somewhere near contention was indeed the place to be to win at Austria. Since then, I believe we are changing to reduced track limits for Division 2 only. Just going to get confirmation of that while we try and fix the technical difficulties. The lobby system isn't quite working as smoothly as we'd hoped at the moment. So we're just working to get that sorted, and I'll bring you updates as soon as I can on that. We're gonna do a bit of self-promoting very quickly. This is me. I'll be taking you through the Division 2 proceedings this evening. And this is the lineup we had confirmed for last race. We had a few new drivers. We're just ironing out the details on that. And we will get that sorted. And here is the format for this evening. As mentioned, we will be at Silverstone for an 18-minute qualifying, followed by a 100% distance race. I'm just trying to get the new lobby set up, as the first one went a bit glitched with people not being able to join, and we're not going to start the race without people who are ready to join but just can't get into the lobby. I think that'd be very unfair on them. And yeah, we're just waiting on the lobby at the moment. Then we will be able to get into some racing. So in the Division 1 race, we saw Trugster. Well, there's a bit of confusion. There was confusion as to whether a Red Bull of, I believe it was Mr. Debro, or Trugster had won the race, but I think Mr. Debro was laps down, so I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. I will get you information on that if we've got any Div 1 drivers that do know what went on there in the chat. Then they'll be able to help fill me in as I was trying to make sure this was all set up nicely in time. But alas, it's not quite worked out as smoothly as we'd hoped, and I didn't get to see what actually happened in that session. Trying to figure out what's going on at the moment. I'm going to try and get everybody back into this lobby now. Yeah, the problem is that I can't invite certain people because they're not on my friends list. Yeah, I'm just trying to get everybody into the lobby that we can. That's 15 invites. Don't quite know what is going on here, but we'll get the updates as soon as possible. We've managed to get one person in so far, so the lobby system's working really delightfully today. I'm going to switch over to a different screen. It's not letting people join, which is not very helpful or fun for them. They're all trying to join. But it's not letting them. So apologies for this technical difficulties. We'll let you know as soon as it is resolved and we can get into some racing, as it's no fun for anybody to be staring at a graphic on the screen. He's going to host. Okay. Is there a way to set him as the host? Is there a simple way to do that? If there is, I'd love to know how. No. Okay, it's really not liking us today. So, again, apologies for the technical difficulties. We made a first lobby. Some people couldn't get in the first lobby. We've made a second lobby, and now some people can't join the second lobby. It's really it's unfortunate, but we just got to be patient and pray that the action in the race makes up for the slightly shaky start we're experiencing at the moment. And hopefully we'll come away feeling very entertained at the end. It's still not letting me host, which is very helpful. So yeah, we just have to wait. Still waiting for any kind of indication that this is gonna work at the moment. But while we try and fix that issues, I'm going to bring you some information that I collected rather quickly at the end of the first race regarding how the tyres are going to last. We reckon the hard tyres will do, they will do 47 laps. Was the longest. I think they took it to the end, and that was 2 laps from the end, so about 50 laps for the hard tyres. If they didn't pit at the end. On the medium tyres, the longest that was managed was 29 laps. And on the soft tyres, the longest that was managed was 26 laps. So the tyres are proving to last quite a while, if that is to be believed. So that is the prediction for tyres. Quite different to Austria. Let's have a look. Dirt Shark says, I did hard tyres from lap 2 to the end, so about 50 laps. Yeah, I think it was you on the screenshot. Yes, it was. At the end, a solid amount of laps on the hard tyres. They could have went 5 more laps, probably. So the hard tyres will really do the whole race without blowing up. Did they have pace throughout the stint? Or did they begin to drop off quite drastically? Here we go. We should be getting into the lobby now. Yes, it looks like we are. So I'm going to just pop in spectate mode and mute all of the players. And we've got about half the lobby is here. So progress. So it looks promising to get some racing underway shortly. Near the end, they started getting a little loose, but had solid traction most of the way. That's really good intel and information. So, for the drivers that maybe have a bit of a sketchy start, maybe knock a bit of their front wing off in combat on the first lap, that does then give them the option to take a set of hard tyres and take it towards the end of the race. I imagine you do have to be very careful on the tyres and very sensible with how you use up the rubber to make them last those 50 laps. But I think it definitely seems possible given what Dirk Shark has said in the chat. So maybe not as punishing if you have a lap 1 accident as it was in Austria. I think it's definitely obvious that these tracks are using different types, different compounds. We're clearly on a much harder selection for this track than we were at Austria, which is true in real life, as in Silverstone real life they use, I think it's C2, C3 and C4 tyres, whereas in Austria they probably use C3, C4 and C5 maybe. No, it's, Well, anyway, they use harder tyres in Silverstone. I'm not sure exactly which 3 of the range of 5 that they use, but they use harder tyres at Silverstone to try and prevent the tyre failures, which we did end up seeing anyway. But ever since 2013 and the tyre blowouts that happened then, they started using very hard tyre selections at Silverstone. Which is why you won't be able to take a set of hard tyres to the end on Austria in the same way you might in this race. It's looking promising. We've got quite a few of the drivers in now. That's 3, 6, 9. I think there's about 10 of us. 10 drivers. And then a couple of spectators. So I think we're just waiting on a couple more people and then we will be good to get into the session, I believe. We've got pretty much one of every team almost. I might try and drop an invite to those who I know will be wanting to race. I think that, yep. Yeah, I'm just going to drop an invite to those who it says aren't currently in the session. Once again, apologies for the technical difficulties we're having. Right, there we go. There's one more we've managed to get into the lobby. A bit more progress. I think this screen is a bit more appropriate for what we're experiencing at the moment. So we will get underway very shortly now. We're just getting the final few drivers into the lobby, I believe. There's not many left, and I think they're all starting to ready up now, so I think that is going to be everyone who's attending is now in the lobby. So we will get underway shortly. No more waiting around. And it looks like we're going straight into qualifying. And I'll be able to bring you a rundown of the drivers. We've got a few returning drivers, a few new drivers, and a few that have previously raced that are returning. And we are just going to load into the game right now. Once again, please just give me a quick comment in the chat on how the sound balance is between me and the game. And just so that it sounds all balanced nicely. It's good if we get that all sorted in qualifying. You don't have to worry about changing sound levels in the race. But we've got 20 more seconds to wait as we load into the track. Interestingly, no Multipirettes at the moment. Our current championship leader is not present. And Spectre, or Ma, who is also in the three-way fight at the top of the last race, is also currently not in the lobby. So, that will certainly bring opportunities for maybe a different driver to challenge Potro. But we are ready to go in game now, as the drivers apply their setups in the garage. They check their tyre strategy. They have a think about what they want to do in terms of their qualifying strategy, where they want to filter out, what tyres they want to start the session, what tyres they maybe want to use towards the end of the qualifying to set their final lap time on. And as we can see, Potro has decided to go for a set of soft tyres. None of the drivers opting for the esports strategy of take a set of intermediate tyres for an outlap just to check that all of their equipment is running nicely. That's more of a thing in the live events, was when that really all began, when they were all on rigs they'd never really driven on unless they had them themselves. Those specific rigs would stay in the arena. Oh, picked a bad time to go on board. Potro is testing the limits of the track. In fact, we'll go through the order. So we've got Neil 1997, who I commentated on towards the end of the last season in Division 1. Very quick driver and was pretty handy in the racecraft, I have to say. After Potro, we've got Ty Moto X 53, who we remember from the previous race in Austria. Made it to the end. Did get a few penalties, but showed some solid pace. It's Mohsen Rezai has returned again after Austria in the Aston Martin, and will be hoping for a better result this time out. We do have Lightning with us today. We have a bit of a fan favourite, Moomin Graham, who I did commentate on last season in Division 1. We have Giarti Jakima, one of those, surely. Either way, they are going to be partnering Tymoto X in the Alpine for this round. Brand new driver I have not commentated on before. We have Reporters 18, who is in their first ever league race, as I've been informed, and a young driver at the age of 13, so it's good to see people getting into league racing at such a young age, and we will see what he can do in the final chicane to start. I believe this is starting a lap. Big fair chicane, solid. To the apex. Nice and conservative so far. Don't want to over push it on your first run out of the pits with 13 minutes of qualifying left. But having said that, somebody has come a cropper at turn 2. I believe that is Graham in the... no, I don't think he's actually had an incident. I think he's come out of the pits and just elected to back off and slow right down to let people go through, to not get in the way of their laps. So we continue to ride on board with Will Morgan, is his real name. In other notes, he is also a keen goalkeeper and a Nottingham Forest fan, is the information I've been provided with. I am no football fan, but I do know Formula 1. And he is coming through the final corner. We'll see what his first lap is like. It's going to be a 1 minute 28.6, which is good enough for second place at the moment. We're going to go back on board with Mohsen Rezai through the final chicane, electing for 4th gear compared to 3rd gear of Will. And a fairly similar lap time, only 0.2 off. It's looking quite close in the middle between 2nd and 4th at the moment. As we can tell, Potro has not set a competitive lap time there. Potro is much quicker than 2.9 seconds off the pace. That lap from Jack Mir, that's what we're going with. Please correct me if that's wrong, or rather please correct me when I find out that's wrong. As either way, it's a competitive lap time on a set of medium tyres to be nearly half a second up. Now, in my limited testing, I could get, I think, a 26 is possible, definitely. For these guys, I think 25 might be pushing it, but it's not out of the question, shall we say. And if you get a 24, then that really is an impressive lap. But I don't think we'll be seeing any of those today. Can you invite Mathieu Peretz? Yeah, let me just quickly go through it and drop them an invite. There we go. And it's Mohsen Rezai has gone to the top of the times, as you saw when we were rejoining just there. Down to a 1 minute 28.092, and that one is on a set of soft tyres. But interestingly, that's a second lap on the tyres. We're going to ride with Neil on his set of medium tyres. Got some nice clear air to set the lap in. Hopefully we can get Mathieu Peretz in. I have sent an invite. Oh, Neil has come a cropper with the setup there. It is very easy to drop the car there if you're running the sort of setups which get you fast lap times around here. In the last game, yeah, you'd have to be incredibly skilled to use sort of the air quotes e-sport setups to get around it on. A driver I believe has just joined the session after the start, HCL Antoine, but Antona has joined and set a 1 minute 27.570, which is a solid lap time indeed. Let's see. Oh, Graham has just finished that lap on a 28.5. There's a yellow flag, that's just for Graham slowing down to make sure he stays out of the way of, is it Potro? Yes it is. It's Mohsen Razai, Thai commentator. Hi, good lap so far, but you've got to find half a second if you hold pole position. Potro short shifts up to fourth. Doesn't want to use the curb. And Jakima is 17 milliseconds behind. Oh, Potro's run a bit wide. Interestingly, that hasn't invalidated a lap, and Mati Peretz has now connected. Oh, Potro with a good save through the middle of the Maggots Beckett's complex there. Not an easy save to hold on to there, and I don't know if you saw, Mati Peretz has now joined the session. So our championship leader was able to get into the session, and Bullet Eater, aka Henry Hellbender, has also made it into the session. Pandakan Thug, we're getting some great names this season, is in 11th place and has just joined the session. I believe this lap is also invalid as the track is still red on the minimap. So we'll see. Graham is definitely backing off. He doesn't appear to have used the, yeah, no, 1.6 seconds down. This isn't a push lap by the looks of it. Ride on board with Bullet Eater. Through the first sector, is it going to be an improvement? Nearly 3/10 as he works to narrow down the gap to Potro. This track certainly is a difficult one to master. It requires a lot of flow through lots of the corners and feeling what rotation will get you the maximum grip and reduce the resistance of the wheels on the track, which will keep your speed up. And the T-Bretz is now loaded in. That's good to see. We've got a championship leader in the session. Down to the final chicane. It's a little bit deep, but still managed to get the line. Trugster has joined. Our winner from Division 1 has joined, I'm assuming as a spectator, to come and have a watch of all of our drivers. Clearly the celebrations didn't last too long. Or he's choosing to celebrate in the Division 2 lobby, who knows. Ooh, that's a little bit too wide and on the grass. That's for Henry Hellbender there. Oh, another driver's been caught out by that tricky turn 1. Mohsen Razai is round as Neil was a few minutes ago. No damage done. Hopefully he'll be able to set another lap on a different set of tyres though. I wouldn't want to be going anywhere near those tyres. Despite flat spotting not really being modelled in the game, it does take a fair chunk of wear out of your tyres if you do lock them up, as you do when losing control like that. This is Panda starting a lap. I believe it might be. Oh, Fitty New has also joined to spectate. Got a fair few people interested in watching this race. It's looking good from Panda so far, as Ty goes to the top. Now we've got 3 drivers within half a tenth. This is shaping up to be really interesting for the race. Same tyres for all of them as well, as Jack Beer did improve on their lap from the mediums on the soft. And I believe that is the Alpine of Light. No, Jack Beer. No, it's not. It's not an Alpine. I'm not really sure who that was. Cops was one of the Red Bulls or Alpines or maybe a Williams. Somebody had a bit of a issue at Cops. They've not been embarrassed on their stream for it. Oh, as Panda. Stylish way to finish a lap. It's not very quick though, unfortunately. But it did actually put Panda up to 4th place. We now have 4 drivers within a 1/10 of a second. Can you invite? Yes, I can indeed. Let me just do the inviting right now. Yeah, it's Mar that we're inviting. Yeah, I sent these people invites. It says Mar has joined, so I don't get the option to invite. Fitty New is actually joining to drive. Wasn't aware they were going to be racing today, but alas, they are. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. In fact, I can show you on the stream because it's just a friends list, really. It's just all the people that race in this or a different division. If I scroll down to Mar, you can see that it doesn't give me the option to select the invite. Jack Mir has gone 1.5 tenths up through the first sector. So now they need to just hold that pace through the rest of the lap. As Potro gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Lightning, which has actually sent the Red Bull driver into a spin by the looks of it, as Lightning has retired from the session. What has gone on there? As Neil sets the fastest lap as well, down to a 27.1 now. We haven't seen anything from the T-Peretz yet either. There's quite a lot of drama. There seems to be a yellow in sector 1 and 2 now, but I think that's just a slow Red Bull as Jack Beer does go up into provisional pole position at the moment. Neil is going nicely through the first sector though. That's nearly all of that deficit made up through sector 1. And that is the end of the session. We are going to try and get on board. We're on board with Will as he pops it into P8. Antoine, yeah, is in 4th place. Who's going to be next across the line? I think it might be Matipa X. Yes, it will be. And it's only 7th place. It is going to be a set of medium tyres. Neil is 3 tenths up. This could be provisional pole position if this has been a good last sector. What's it going to be? Is it going to be fast enough? No, it's not. By 89 milliseconds. Only a couple of people left. Jack Mears not on a lap. So it's down to Mohun Razai. He's going to need half a second in the final sector. Oh, it's wide. Through the final corner. Whereabouts is this going to land him on the grid? Ooh, looks like P6 from the steering wheel. Yep, P6. So that was a chaotic qualifying with people joining left, right and centre. That's going to be the grid. And it looks like a 2-horse race on paper. But then we've got a good 3 cars, 7th, 8th and 9th. And a good 4 cars between 3rd down to 6th place. As Potro set a 29.8, which was actually... Oh, the penalty hasn't been added on yet. But here we go. We're going to load into the race after all of that chaos. Mar has loaded in, actually. So Mar is going to be able to take part in the race, albeit from last on the grid, unfortunately. But it's better than not being able to participate in the race at all, as we just have a little bit of a wait until the drivers have loaded in and got their setup supplied. You can see the garages of the drivers there. And we can see no McLarens today. Is one interesting one to note. Tibran didn't fancy doing another set of 2 100% races today. Very understandable. That was a mammoth drive last weekend in Austria to do 2 100% races pretty much back to back, plus 36 minutes of qualifying. Pretty impressive feat, I can't lie. The timer has ended, but not a lot is happening. So, just bear with me. I hope this is not another game glitch, because that would just sum this up, wouldn't it? I don't know what I've pressed. That's good to know. I don't care about this. I'm using OBS. And the game has decided to freeze on us, unfortunately, by the looks of it. Oh, there we go. It's kicked into life. And it's going to get underway for the formation lap. So we're going to bring up the spectator menu. We'll go with current tyre for now, and we'll keep it on intervals. So the tyre choice outside of the top 10 appears to be a mix between softs and mediums. We're expecting the softs to last, I would say, 25 laps. Seems to be the maximum that people have got out of them. So some people might hit on, say, laps 15 onwards. And some people might take them all the way to lap 25. We're not quite sure. I have the data of how long people took them in the last race, but I don't know what sort of drive they were going for with that. Were they going for tyre preservation? Were they going for pushing as hard as they could? We don't quite know the context behind that, and we don't know how much pace they had. So, yes, we will figure out context behind this race fairly shortly. I think it's going to be between the top two potentially for the win, barring incidents. But never rule out Matej Perec as a dark horse, who is the highest medium tyre runner at the moment. And who knows what people will pull with strategy. Dirt Shark took the hard tyres 50 laps and says they can go the whole distance. So some people might try and do what Nico Rosberg did in Sochi 2014, I believe it was. Completely flat spotted the tyres and took the hard tyres from lap 2 to the end of the race. But we will find out shortly, as the rest of the grid has formed up now. Just waiting to get into the start animation. Here we go. It's been a little bit temperamental today, so just have to bear with us. I'll get this one figured out. Jack Mears' car is literally jumping up and down, ready to go. It's that excited to get underway, as are we. Neil has already got his overtake ERS deployed, as most of the grid have. Jack Mir has left the session. Jack Mir, our pole sitter, has disconnected. And it's lights out and away we go. We've got a Haas on the grass. There's carnage. There's carnage. Mohsen Razai and Reporters 18 are out of the race, as cars just seem to spin across the middle of the track. And there's a safety car. I wasn't aware we had safety cars on. In fact, I think this is a game glitch that we have a safety car. But the big winner, we don't really have a big winner from that. We have a loser though. Fitinu has already picked up a time penalty for a collision with Potro. So I would say Matej Perec is doing quite nicely out of that. Gained a couple of positions on the medium tyres. And we're going to take a look at that start again at some point. I think that's very unfortunate for those involved. You never want to see a DNF at the start of the race. So I'm going to try and have a look to find a replay of the start by having a look at our live stream replay while we're under safety car. But that was chaos at the start. You could just see drivers going across each other. Seems to think Graham's in the lead, but we've got a bit of a leaderboard glitch. It usually does send one car to the front. So, in fact, both of the Haas drivers ended up on the grass on the driver's left-hand side at the start of the race. Yeah, I'm trying to slowly put the pieces together. If I put the stream in 0.25 speed, we might be able to have a look and figure out what has gone on here and how that start crash was caused. But we're under safety car at the moment. Port's first block my way and first start Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened yet. That's why I'm having a look at stream replay on my phone while we're under safety car, which does not look like it's going to be coming in on this lap. I believe it's going to be staying out for another lap. So the Haas drivers both end up on the grass on the driver's left-hand side. And then somebody gets spun across the track. It's a bit hard to see. And then, yeah, they both just sort of spin into they'll spin into each other. And then it just became a bit of a pile-up from there, as Panda has gone for the pits as a front wing end plate. It's been flung up there. Not really sure whether that's from lap 1 or that's slightly newer. I believe it is probably just a front wing end plate from lap 1 maybe. Safety car on for this race just to miss set of lobby. Yeah, I'm not really sure. People are... Oh no, everybody's got invites to this from earlier. Jack Mir has left the session again. So our race leader is not having good connection at the moment. I'll just see if I can send out another invite. While we get that sorted. Just bear with me 1 second. There we go. Turn back to the in-game scene. And maybe this lap the safety car will be coming in. Safety car in this lap. So Jack Mir will begin to back off from the safety car. Back the pack up. And they will get ready to restart this race. To the final chicane. It's still AI for Jack Mir. So I think Neil is going to be taking the position quite comfortably. You can tell it's AI because there is a red X in the bar that is usually for connection. As Panda has retired from the session, and so has Antoine. I've missed all kinds of chaos on the restart, as it's now only the top 10 still remaining. And amongst all of this, Neil has passed, Ty has passed, and Ma is up to 3rd from the back of the grid. But not yet. Neil has run wide. Jack Mir has briefly joined and then disconnected and spun and is in the gravel. Our pole sitter is having a nightmare race. The intervals aren't quite working. Nobody's making clocks at the moment, as Lightning is now up, and we've got another safety car. I think David is not too impressed with the game, I can't lie. So we are under another safety car. It's Ty Moto X, who is now leading the field from Neil, Ma, Lightning, who has pitted under the safety car, Mati Peretz, Graham, Potro, Fittiu, Jack Mir, and Henry Hellbender. We're going to be under another safety car. Hopefully this next restart will not cause as much chaos as that one did. Ooh, careful. Don't lose the car in the safety car. As they all now file behind the safety car. And we'll begin saving their ERS, their tyres, and fuel in anticipation of the restart. Drivers will be able to burn a lot of fuel after the safety car period. You might actually see drivers tactically still trying to burn fuel under the safety car. Depending on their styles, certain drivers like Nicholas Longay struggle to burn as much fuel. They're quite efficient on their fuel. I'm not really sure what makes his style like that. I've just heard him rage about not being able to burn fuel as much as he'd like on his live stream, so that's where all of that information comes from. And in this game, fuel saving and using up is a bit different, as in the race you're locked to only one fuel mixture because it's effectively an engine mode and you're only allowed to use one engine mode for the weekend from qualifying onwards. And Henry Hellbender has unfortunately picked up a drive-through penalty for falling too far back under the safety car. I believe it's 9 car lengths is the maximum distance you're allowed to be from the safety car or a car in front of you. So if you fall back too far from that for too long, then you will pick up a time penalty, unfortunately. Now, of course, that only counts when you've caught the safety car up to start with. If the safety car comes out and you're half a lap behind the car in front, then it doesn't matter. It's from the point where you've caught up to that car and the safety car train, then that rule comes into effect. Which is why Henry Hellbender won't get another penalty coming out of the pit lane for being half of Sector 1 behind the next car in the pack. I wonder if we're going to get going again on this lap. I think we might. And this time we'll see these guys go at it again. I'm very impressed by Ma's ability to stay out of all of the trouble that has happened. And from the back row with no qualifying is now up into 3rd place on the podium. And at the moment that would be the championship lead, I believe. Or might be the championship lead. It'll be close between him and Mitty Peretz, put it that way. Through the final part of the second sector. It's about at this point we find out if the safety car's coming in this lap. The light's still on the safety car. So it looks like we're going for another lap behind the safety car. So the wait for all of this action continues. We've actually not really had a full racing lap yet. We got through about Sector 1 of racing twice. That's about the furthest we've got so far. And we're going to have to wait for at least one more lap. Tyre strategy-wise, this isn't really going to benefit the soft tyre runners unless they were struggling on tyre wear. If they were struggling on tyre wear, then I think this does help them to extend to some... Well, let me give you an example. If the soft tyres last for 25 laps, if you take them to their maximum, then you can pit for a set of medium tyres, because you'll be exactly halfway into the race almost, and then go to the end comfortably on those medium tyres. And especially behind the safety car, you can do that because you have to use 2 compounds of tyre. It's not going to make a difference on the tyre where when you get to lap 25, you could have originally been pitting on lap, get away probably even lap 18, then you pit on lap 25 now because you've had those extra laps behind the safety car. Then it's not going to make a difference because you'll still be in prime position to easily take a set of medium tyres to the end of the race, as you would be if you were better on your tyre wear, because you can't take another set of soft tyres to the end of the race because you have to use multiple compounds of tyre. This may benefit the hard tyre runners to be able to push them a little bit harder, and we are going to get racing underway this lap. But with the medium tyre runners, it might just, maybe if you're struggling in the mediums, they'll just make sure that you get plenty of time to go into soft tyres, but that doesn't matter for now. These guys are going to be fighting for some track position as Time Moto X leads them away. As Neil is round before we even got going. He's parked in the middle of the track. Everybody avoids quite nicely. And away we go. Going further up the grid. But it's Ty who's quite far up the road from Spectre and Lightning. As Lightning is all over the back of Spectre. No DRS just yet. Got to wait for 3 racing laps before we can get that enabled. So these guys have got to do it on pure driving skill alone. No extra help from the DRS. There's yellow in sector 1. I believe that is just Henry Hellbender rejoining the track. Oh, that's a bit wide from everyone at the moment. Struggling with Cox a little bit. As we've got a safety car again. I'm not particularly sure why, if I'm honest. Nobody's retired. Nobody's going slowly. The only car that's slow is the safety car now because it's waiting for people. Everybody else is driving around all A-OK by the looks of it. As Ty is taking this opportunity to pit. This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one indeed. It saved Neil if he decides to pit. He doesn't. So Tyre's gone for a set of hard tyres. Those will make it to the end. All of these people on the hard tyres will be able to make it to the end of the race. Definitely. If they can drive exactly as Dirt Shark did. Can you turn the mic up a bit? Yes, I can. I'll just get that dealt with right now. Hopefully that is a little better for the sound balance. And it looks... So, Henry Hellbender has gone for the pits as well. Yeah, I think it is a glitch, the reason that the safety car came out, because all of the cars are running perfectly fine as they were, you know, at the restart. There wasn't actually a difference. It's just Neil spun round, but he got going again and was driving off well before the safety car got deployed, so I don't think it's that. hey ho. I think Mati Peretz is really loving this, just being able to drive under the safety car. As quite a lot of people are in AI mode by the looks of it. They're just trying to figure out, can we have restart session? That's something to ask Barks rather than me, because he's sort of our race director, really. Will it tell me why they brought the safety car? I don't think it will. So we've only got one from lap 8, which was for exceeding track limits. That's a bizarre one. Hopefully it'll be a short safety car, though. And then we can get back underway again. But I think Mati Peretz is probably really enjoying being gifted positions left, right and centre at the moment. Just by people pitting. But I believe there's rumours that the maximum number of safety car... Yeah, it was rumoured that the maximum number of safety cars you can have in a race is 4 on the last game. So if that carries over, then we can only have 1 more safety car in this race. In theory. I'm surprised we didn't get a VSC as well. I think a VSC would have been more logical if it was going to deploy some kind of safety car for no incident at all. But hey ho, maybe it just doesn't want us to have any more safety cars when there are actually accidents. Who knows? But actually, Ty has overtaken Jack. He's giving the place back now. It looks like Ty has actually made an overtake there. Unless Jack Mir made an overtake before and was just sort of handing the place back or something. That's a bit of a bizarre one. I'll get an update on that one when I can. And are we going to get the safety car in this lap? Yes, we are. So this time it's going to be Mar that's going to lead them away. Now, if I was Mar, I would try and get the jump going just into the final chicane, maybe. I feel like that would give the biggest benefit. So we'll find out what Mar's going to do. Looks like Mar's gone now. And Lightning had no idea whatsoever. Makes the apex. And Mar's going to run away now, surely. Gaps up to 8/10. As Mati Peretz is absolutely nowhere near. They're all quite far back, but Fitty knew. He's right on the back of Graham. They make contact into turn 2. Has that damaged the wing of Fitty New? Makes the apex quite nicely to the outside. Is he going to get underneath him here? Not quite. He's going to use the ERS deployment to shape for a move up the inside. And makes the move stick. I think those soft tyres were definitely the advantage that Fitty needed to make up that position. As Neil is making a move on Potro soon by the looks of it. Oh, as Mars got a time penalty for multiple warnings. Another complexion change in this race. And there's another safety car. What is it for this time then? As Fitty New has overtaken under the safety car to then go into the pits. and has picked up a drive-through penalty and a 5-second time penalty. And DNF'd. Okay, I believe we are getting a restart now, as the safety car just seems to come out every lap now. We haven't had a single lap of racing in 12 laps. I think Ma will be very annoyed that that is what's going to be happening. Going from last to first. But it looks like we are getting a lobby reset. It's really fitting I made the technical difficulty screen today, isn't it? But here we go. And we're getting a new lobby up at the moment. So we are going to restart the race, as all of the drivers who DNF'd are pretty happy about that. And those who didn't DNF are also probably quite happy about it, because they don't want to drive another lap behind a safety car, which is very understandable. So yeah, it looks like we are going to get ourselves a lobby restart while this occurs. So we saw all of 12 laps behind the safety car. I think that's enough safety car content for one day. So we're just going to have a quick wait while we get the lobby up and running. So we just got to wait for that to occur. And I will, of course, let everybody know when we get into the game. So yeah, we've got to hope that it's a clean lobby in terms of the lobby decides to work. So yeah, hopefully third time's a charm, and it decides to work with no issues. I'll just see if we've requests of the so we're going to load into the lobby just now, and then we'll get underway again for the please no safety car or Reno Grand Prix. So we are going to be still doing the same race that we were before. It's going to be 100%. I believe Barks is going to set the order to be the same as the race running order that we were at before. Or at least I hope that's what we get. We've actually got a couple of, potentially might have some people who didn't get in being able to get in now. If anybody didn't manage to make it into the lobby, then they have an opportunity to now. Do you have the grid order? Would you like the grid order from qualifying, or the order from just before we quit under the safety car? Because I can give you either, because I can get on the stream replay and have a look. Yes, please, from qualifying. Okay, I'll get that for you right now. Let me just get back to the stream replay. So it was, let's just check we've got people in. Jack Muir was on pole position. I remember that much. Neil was second, but Neil's not actually in the lobby yet. Oh, here we go. A few more people have joined. Yeah, quite a few people weren't in the lobby. So I'm not really sure what you'd like to do about that. Let me just... skip forward. Right, here we go. Just skipping backwards to get the qualifying order now. Right, here we go. I've got the qualifying order. Do you know what's going to be easier? It's probably if I go onto my account and type it. Yeah, you're on Twitch, so I'll go in and type it in the Twitch chat from my own account. Probably be easier. So yeah, we're now just typing in to the chat the running order from qualifying. Just going to abbreviate some names to quickly. Get the order in. So apologies for the delay. Right, there we go. I've put the order in chat now. So everybody that isn't mentioned in the list was either not present for the race or joined after qualifying if they're not in the list. So we're just going to wait for Barks to do the custom grid. Please invite Neil. Yeah, I can do that right now, actually. As long as it says he's not currently in. Yeah, I've dropped him an invite now. So hopefully he should be able to get in a second. Yeah, I'm in spectator mode, so that's all good. So not long now. I think that's Arabic. My Arabic's not very good, so I'll Google Translate it, and then I'll let you know how much of it I don't understand, because I know how much Google Translate loves to be difficult. Guys, we do not have time. We go straight to the match. Yeah, it'd be good to go straight to the game. Into the race. Have we got Neil in? Not quite yet. So it looks like Solo Godzilla is now in the race. Manugri is in the race. Those are the people who weren't in the first attempt at this race. So hopefully we should be able to get Neil into the session. I've sent another invite. So we've got to hope for the best. Oh, don't ready up, people, otherwise Neil's not going to be able to get in. Hopefully he will very shortly. Also, Lightning and Ty need to pick a car as well. So we just need a few people to sort a few things out. And Henry Hellbender needs an invite as well. So it's all kicking off at the moment. We're all kind of eager to get underway. But these people need invites because otherwise they won't be able to join the race partway through. I'm not so sure. I think Barks is coordinating in the game chat. And also some people are listening on the stream, so we can try and get that all fixed up. We've got one more in. So Henry Hellbender's in. Barks, can you tell people to pick their cars? Because a couple of people haven't picked their cars yet. And I can't tell them on the in-game chat because they don't have a PlayStation mic. But hopefully we will be able to get you guys a race involving no more safety car delays and some quality racing content. That is the hope. And we've got, everyone's picked a car. So now it's just Neil that hasn't got in by the looks of it. But it looks like we are at least going to get a half decent lobby full of drivers. Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today. Well, that is brilliant to know. So we've got... Okay, this name is a load of letters and numbers. I don't know how I'm going to try and make a name out of this. We've got FRL _ CRZZ _ 317 _ OPC. Well, we have loaded into the race. And we're going to get it underway. I'm going to switch over a bit early to the screen because I don't know if it's going to put us straight in. We call him Chris. Aha! That makes it nice and easy then. Yeah, that kind of makes sense now. Think about it. If you look at it, it kind of... You can make Chris out of the words nearly. Well, here we go. 20 seconds. Then we're going to be underway. It's only taken us 1 hour and 22 minutes to figure out how we're going to start for the race and get that all underway. But I believe now we are going to be underway for the non-safety car Grand Prix, where we only have green flag action and good battles throughout. That is the hope of, I think, everybody at this point. And it's only going to be 20 more seconds until we can get that underway again. And then we have to figure out the strategy all over again. So here we go. If we got a formation lap, we're going to find out. No, it looks like we're going straight into the race. So here we go. It's like... finally out and away we go. Is it going to be a clean start? Is it going to be a clean start? Are they going to make it into turn one in one piece? It looks like we are. It looks clean so far. I see a yellow flag on turn 3 as an Aston Martin side base. Both of the Williams are on the grass. One facing the wrong way. We've got a Red Bull round. We've got multiple cars round on the exit. Panda has received a penalty. There's a Red Bull off in the distance there. It is all kicking off at the moment. As I don't know where to look at the moment. We're going to... There we go. We've kind of got some sense of it all now. So Lightning's attacking Fitinu on the inside of Cops. As Lita goes wide, Chris is in the wheel tracks of Lightning at the moment. But it's Jack Mir who's still leading from Spectre. Mohsen Razai is up to 3rd place. A much better run for him so far. Mathieu Peretz again gaining places. Graham has followed him through. Fitinu is up to 10th place. Manugri is closing on Graham though. So we're going to see what he can do. And Graham's gone a bit wide. Those medium tyres not quite up to the operating window he is looking for. That's going to be Manugri up. And Graham has lost out to Lightning. Not quite. He covers him off. Then goes wide. Lightning gets underneath him. Around the outside, there's a yellow. In sector 1, it's Panda. Panda is out. Not too sure what's happened there. But what I can see is that Fitinu is going to be coming out the pits, and then we'll try and be able to piece together what has gone on. The Panda went off towards the side there. Very unfortunate, but we're still under green flag. Here comes Chris trying to overtake Graham. He's going to be lining up to move on the exit maybe. Oh, but makes a mistake and goes on the grass. So no move just yet. Potro is right at the back of Solo Godzilla. Jack Mir is controlling the race just about at the front with Ma in hot pursuit. I wonder if they did put Ma back to the back. So that's P2 off the start again. That's crazy. That's a bit wide from Potro there. As Lightning looks to be having a challenge to Manugri. We've got some DRS activated now. We've had 3 racing laps. Lightning appears to be setting up a move on the exit here. Oh, but gets wheel spin on the curb. Those medium tyres not quite providing the overall grip that he needed to make the move on Manugri there. Through Cops, they both go a bit wide there. And actually, Ma is going for the move for the lead. We've caught it just in time. To the inside goes the Mercedes man. But round the outside, Jack Mir has not given up. They're side by side into the final chicane. Can Ma hold it round the outside? Yes, they're still side by side. Oh, and Ma's round. Our second place man of the championship is round. Mohsen Razai goes up into second place in the race now. As Mathieu Peretz has been forced off the track by Manugri very viciously there. As somebody's round his Mars in the gravel. Mathieu Peretz has been taken out. Mathieu Perez has been taken out by Manugri. Spectre's been given... Mars been given a penalty. Probably just from trying to recover from the gravel by the looks of it. Mathieu Perez is disconnected after being knocked into the wall by Manubri. I think the stewards will definitely be having a look at that one. Yeah, that's definitely an AI driving. So now Jack Muir's looking quite pleased, probably. 7 seconds advantage, same tyres as the drivers behind. Manubri is off into the gravel and has reset to track. I'm not sure that's allowed. Let's see if Manubri can make a move on League Racing debutant. Reporters 18, that was very forceful as well by the looks of it. Now catching up to the disconnected car of Mathieu Perez, who is now reconnected. There's a yellow in sector 2 and 3. There's a Red Bull, it's Potro. Manubri tried to send one from way too far back there. Can he make the move around the outside? No, Mathieu Perez carried a good amount of corner speed there. And can Manubri make the pass cleanly? Yes. Yes, I had a feeling reset was not allowed, and David in the chat has confirmed. Thank you for confirming that one for us. Resetting to track is not allowed. I had a feeling it wasn't. Gonna watch as they're all a bit wide through Cops. Reporters isn't under pressure from behind. He's just on the attack. Getting a bit too much dirty air through the final part of the sector there, and falls outside of the DRS window. The gaps are beginning to update themselves again now. And here comes Lightning catching up to Tymoto X53. It's had a bit of a quiet race this time around now. I think Jack Muir must be loving life, just cruising out front now, saving the tyres. As Lightning goes to the outside, but clips the grass. And the medium tyres run out of grip. And he'll have to go back to the drawing board. And try again for his attack on 3rd place. So you've only got 2 penalties at the moment. As we get further into the race, we will switch over the little detail which has got the tyres on it over to the penalties detail, which will tell you how many seconds of penalties each driver has, so you can begin to piece together a running order for when those have been applied. Actually see Lightning catching up again. So half a second back now. So he's going to try another assault. And it looks like Solo Godzilla has spun at Cops. And Reporters has spun at the final chicane. 2 spins for the Haas drivers within 10 seconds. Fitinu has set the fastest lap of the race of a woman at 30.728. And we're going to see what Lightning can do by trying to break the slipstream a bit there. How's the dirty air this time? They both elect to take the run off. There's a yellow in Sector 3. Solo Godzilla is out. Solo Godzilla is out. I believe that's a crash at the final corner to the wall on the driver's right hand side. But around the outside goes Lightning. Can he make the move stick? No, Ty's not going to let him have it that easily. So he goes for a move. It's a bit late. And the door was well and truly slammed by Ty there, who said no thank you. Is that Fitinu who's gone off in the other Williams at the Maggots Beckett's Chapel Complex? And here comes Lightning on Ty. Is he going to get underneath Ty? Oh, they make contact! They make contact and Lightning's round! And has reset to track. It's 2 spins for 2 teams within a few laps. And that's going to put Mar within striking distance of Lightning now. Chris is catching up to Manu and Lightning's DNF'd. Lightning has DNF'd. I'm not particularly sure what's gone on there. We will find out. But Lightning has just pulled off to the side. Bit of a confusing one. It's a bit wide from Manubri there. It doesn't give Chris an opportunity. There's an accident. It's Mohsen Razai out of P2. Has dropped on the exit of Stowe. Still maintains the position though. But now Jack Muir has an 18-second lead on lap 8 of the race. He must be absolutely loving life out there in front, keeping clean while his rivals are struggling. But how's this going to affect the championship? Mathieu Peretz is only 7th. But still on those medium tyres, so that's the one caveat. Although Jack Muir is well over a pit stop ahead. In fact, he's a pit stop ahead of probably Manugri. So he'd come out in 4th place, I reckon. But that was a reset from Lightning. That's another thing that... Oh, actually, David has just mentioned it in the chat. It does need noting, I think, to the stewards. Maybe Barks just needs to put out a memo reminding people that resetting to track is not allowed. I actually watch Fitinu, who might go into the outside of Graham now, is he? Not quite there. He's going to set a move up, not on the outside here. Normally end up in the gravel if you try that on the exit. About even on the exit. Maybe Graham was a little bit quicker on the exit actually. So the move's going to have to take place in the faster stuff. Super run from Fitinu, but chooses to back out. You don't want to risk anything for this complex of corners. It just never normally ends well. You have to have 2 incredibly talented drivers and almost an infinite amount of trust that they aren't going to crash into you. So it's normally a lot safer to just wait as we get past reporters. And the exit of Stowe. And is he going to get on the inside of Graham now? Just to back out slightly. He's going to blitz the ERS2 up on the inside into turn 1, and that is move done. Graham doesn't want to fight that one too much. As Fitinu is trying to rescue some more points for Williams now. as Ma is catching up to Thai Moto X. Albeit Ma does have a 10-second time penalty for the corner cutting, but I'm wondering whether that might get removed if that was for simply joining the track again after having his excursion. And that's going to be past Thai. They're both running very low on ERS. Ooh, they've both gone very deep there. Thai nearly said goodbye to his front wing there. Down the field, this battle is the closest one on the track at the moment. Can Potro make the move? I'm both very cautious as we've got a car round. Chris has DNF'd. That is in sector 1. I think that's a manual retire from session. Yeah, I think that's a manual retire from session. Either way, another one. He has bit the dust and retired from the session. And now Jack Mir has a lead of 21 seconds. Mohsen Razai has consolidated second place quite nicely, however, bringing the gap up after that mistake. And is Ma going to be able to do anything about closing that back down again? We will find out in the next few laps. Thai has dropped comfortably outside of the DRS zone, so maybe doesn't quite have the pace to hang on with Ma at this stage in the race. Maybe thinking about the long game in terms of tyres, potentially. Reporters has pitted for a set of hard tyres, so that looks like that will be planning to take it to the end of the race. And 50 New is in the gravel at turn 2. Another victim of just how tricky and slippery this track can be. And then a victim of just how slippery overheated tyres can be, as Potro is looking to make the move on Reporters at the moment. Across the line. Is it going to be a move into turn 3? Not quite. Reporters gets a very nice line through the first 2 corners. Is Potro going to send one to the inside there? No, that's a common one in real racing. Is to slip one up the inside there, but has done it on the exit actually, quite impressively. And Reporters fight back. Not as of yet. But with Reporters, it's more about the long game on the hard tyres, I think. We've got Warren K7 in chat. Says, go guys. Welcome to the chat, Warren. You have missed a lot of technical difficulties and 13 laps of absolute chaos and action. But hopefully there will be a few more for you to witness now that you have joined the chat. As we see Ma is now closing the gap down again. I think I must have spoke too soon. Ma's getting on with it now to close up to Mohsen Razai for second place in the race, which will potentially mean the championship lead, as Mati Peretz is in 6th place and not looking so comfortable from the medium tyres pace-wise. In fact, didn't look very comfortable at all in the minimal bits that we saw. But the racecraft kept him up the order, while others were a bit all over the place and DNF'd. As we can see, we've got 4 DNFs at the moment. As Ma is beginning to put the hammer down. Not quite within DRS range at the detection line, but may very well be in the next zone. Just really closing the gap up now. But that's a mistake on the exit. Still within 0.6 though. Motion Razai is using all of the road there, and quite a bit more. That goes wide into Beckett's. That's compromised the line. Ma's got a good run, and DRS. Is this going to be a move up the inside? Not quite yet. Motion Razai goes wide. Ma can't capitalise. Final chicane, Ma snatches a break. That doesn't lose too much time. Through turn 1 and 2 on the brakes. Not quite an opening for a move yet. Mati Peretz is down to 7th. He's been passed by Graham, who's put on a new set of soft tyres. He'd fancy that medium tyre. Can Spectre and make a move. Saving a bit of ERS to potentially launch an attack on the DRS straight. Pretty News sets the fastest lap of the race, down to a 1 minute 30.567 now. There's a yellow in sector 1. Is that Mati Peretz? The championship leader has had a spin. He's not seemed comfortable at all this weekend. Has recovered it, and here comes Ma. Fairly simple up the inside. Motion Razai can't do much to fight that, and Ma will begin to attempt to chase down Jack Mir. And I think that's going to be a bit of a tall order with a 10-second time penalty plus 23 seconds to gain. Can Motion Razai get back up into second place? No, that's wide. As a yellow in sector 3. Is this Mati Peretz yet again? It is unfortunately not the race Mati Peretz would have hoped for. Going to watch to see if Henry Hellbender can make the move on reporters here. The final spot in the points. But he is backing off to let the leaders through. He's had the blue flags. So look at how much time you lose though. Gaps up to 3.1 seconds. as I believe there's an AlphaTauri of Graham has had an off there in Sector 2. But still in 6th place. As Henry Hellbender goes right around the outside. Can't quite make it stick though. Oh, but goes up the inside. And there just wasn't quite the room for 2 there. But battle will resume now. To the inside of Kopp. Surely not. Surely not. He's backed out. They've both gone wide. And to Maggots Beckett's. Can Henry make that gap back up again? Into the braking zone of the final chicane. Within the DRS. Not quite close enough to make a move just yet. As I think Henry's going to let Ty through. Yeah. Yeah, the blue flags are a bit brutal by the looks of it. As Graham is pitting. Could this be for a set of medium tyres? Graham has retired. What has gone on here? I think that's a manual retirement. Mathieu Peretz has been lapped by Jack Mir. So that shows you the extent of his lead at the moment. As that's still the yellow in Sector 1 for Graham's retired car. So that's why there is a yellow flag there in the top left hand corner of the screen. So now everybody who finishes the race will get points at this rate. And if you don't finish the race, but you're in 10th place or in any points paying position, you still won't get any points at all. Even if you finished first, or rather, the game said you finished in first place, but you actually DNF'd, then you get no points at all. And that's a rule to promote people not rage quitting if they're in 8th place at the back of the field with maybe 15-20 laps to go, and you're like, I'm miles behind the car in front, what's the point in going to the finish now? Well, the point is it gets you valuable championship points, which you won't get if you retire. Now we're going to see Henry with a run here. Depends what Cops is like. It's a good line. To the outside. Is that going to be the move done? Yes, it is. Good move from Henry Hellbender. Up into 9th place. I think Reporters is suffering with the hard tyres at the moment. I think there's just not really any pace in them as it stands at the moment. Well, we did have a look. So the gap between Jack Mir and Spectre or Mar has stayed around that 23-second mark. There is a car off. Is that Fitty-New is in the wall at Copse? So not the race he would have been hoping for. And that promotes Mati Perez back up the order. Manugri and Thai Motor X have both pitted for a set of medium tyres now. They are a long way off the top three. I think they're all still going to comfortably come out well ahead of this group. And there's a yellow flag. Is that for... Oh, that's for Henry Hellbender, who's stuck in the wall. Fitty-New has retired. I think that's going into the pits. But good to see that Henry's managed to drag that one out of the barriers. So we're now down to 9 drivers still in the race. And we haven't actually reached half distance yet. If I'm Jack Mir, I would be looking to try and extend the stint to the point where Mohsen Razai and Ma have pitted. Then you can have a clean stop and come out into first place. And we're going to see Potro has gone for a set of hard tyres as well. He's going to be looking to make move on reporters. Again, fairly underwhelming race for Potro, who was right up in that lead battle until the third sector of the final lap of Austria. So not quite the same performance today. But it has been a chaotic race. And he will be able to go to the end. There's a yellow in sector 3. That's Mati Perez. He's had a bit of an issue there, but not lost any positions. Can Potro make the move around the outside? Yeah, looks likely that that is moved done. Yes, it is. Into the final chicane. Holds the position nicely. Ooh, but that's a very big slide on the final corner. And away Potro goes in pursuit of Mati Perez. I feel like that gap's going to go back up again. Spectre and Jack Mir are pretty much evenly matched at the moment. The gap stayed very even across multiple laps now. So I think the race is going to begin to stall out into more of a tactical race for this little middle portion of the race, and then spice up towards the end of the race. But I could be totally wrong, and sometimes I am, so hopefully we'll have action throughout. But usually in these type of races it begins to settle down when everyone finds their rhythm. As Brooke Littlewood has left the session, was clearly doing some spectating for a fair bit. So, kind of just looking around waiting for some action to to happen at the moment. There's no real side-by-side battles on the track. You can see on the track map how spaced out everyone is. Asbel Eater is just letting Mohsen Razai pass there. And he's going to be catching up to Mati Peretz now, whose strategy is not paid off at all at the moment. So one thing we are going to look at actually is incidents. So really there's not been many. These have all been collisions. That's what Margaret penalty for exceeding track limits. So nobody's had any warnings about track limits yet either. It's just that straight 10-second penalty that Mar picked up for any actual penalty we have had so far in the race. So the top three mirroring strategy. Then the next two cars are mirroring strategy. Then every car after that seems to be on something slightly different. Mohsen Razai has decided he wants to exchange those soft tyres for potentially a set of mediums and then take those to the end. Which will probably put him in better shape if there's a late safety car. Yep, and as predicted, a new set of medium tyres goes on the Aston Martin. And away he goes out of the pit lane to filter into some completely clear air. Whoa, nearly lost it on the exit, however. It is very tricky to get these tyres in the right window. Coming out of the pits, it's especially hard to keep the car pointing in a straight line. And on the power for the first few corners on any colder set of tyres. As Mar has responded by also coming into the pit lane, but Jack Muir is staying cool and staying out. So it's mediums for Mar, that was expected. Oh, we've got a Mohsen Razai fan in chat. You'll be pleased to know he is in position 3 in the race. And that is a net P3 as well. He does not have to make any more stops. In fact, only first place and 6th place of Jack Muir and Mati Peretz will have to stop again. I think everybody else can go to the end from the tyres they are currently on. Oh, as Potro gets very sideways through Copse. Mark will take that, and as expected, Jack Muir has kept cool and put on a set of brand new medium tyres to go to the end on. So we're now only waiting on Mathieu Peretz, who we will be waiting on for a few more laps. And now that we know everybody is basically on either mediums or softs, mediums or hard tyres, and then Mathieu Peretz will probably pit for a set of soft tyres, and then go to the end. We can look at penalties, where we can see that Ma is the only one with a penalty. And actually, Motor Mazai needs to try and stick within 10 seconds. There is a yellow, that is for Potro, is it? Yes, it is. Who I believe... No, it looked like an AI type movement there. Not really sure what was up that. Thought he might have retired, but I think he might have gone into the pause menu. So the AI try and get it out the gravel for him. Into Copse. Definitely looks like a real person driving. Motor Mazai is keeping within that 10 seconds at the moment, which would give him second place in this race, depending on whether Mark can get that penalty appealed or not. And actually sets the fastest lap of the race. Quite comfortable on these medium tyres by the looks of it. So unfortunately that would be nothing for Fiottinu, who held the fastest lap previously before DNFing. Jack Muir didn't seem to appreciate not having the fastest lap for too long. So he has now put in the fastest lap of the race on those new medium tyres. They're not ballistically quick laps. Manugri has managed to pick up a penalty for corner cutting. And Mars set the fastest lap of the race. So they're all at it at the moment on their brand new tyres. Which is quite understandable. On board with Mathieu Peretz, who has indeed pitted for a set of soft tyres, so expect a fastest lap at some point as he looks to recover some points as and where he can, but it looks like 6th place might be the best he can do, to be brutally honest. Yeah, I doubt gaining 1 minute and 20 seconds is... It's not doable without those in front having any issues, I believe. It's the best way to summarise that. I think a car in front would need to have an issue from the Tiperettes to catch up that much in 23 laps. Was that lap time? I'm actually going to have a check. So I'm curious what sort of pace Tiperettes is running at the moment. So it's a 1 minute 30.5, which is half a second off the current fastest lap. Oh, Mohsen Rezai's picked up a penalty. That's going to give Martin breathing room. And I believe that is Potro who has spun. Going onto the straight there. But that's now meaning that Mohsen Rezai has to get within 7 seconds now to get P2 from Mar. The time penalties are beginning to filter through a little bit now. We are running reduced or regular corner cutting compared to strict that Division 1 uses, as we had people getting penalties left, right and centre. In the previous race we decided to scale back the harshness of the penalties for this division, and if a driver wants to progress onto Division 1, then they're going to have to learn the track limits the tricky way on strict. Gaps are all edged out at the moment while we await the strategies to play themselves out towards the end of the race. Jordan Sector 2, I believe that is Henry Hellbender. He has had a spin at Copse and is underway again now. We're gonna do, while we wait for some action, we're gonna spend a lap with each driver to attempt to give everybody some coverage. We'll start out with our leader, Jack Muir, and then we'll progress through the grid to give everybody some coverage at this point in the race. Ever so calm and collected with Jack Muir at the moment. No overly done risks, no pushing way on the limit. It all looks calm, collected, and like he is ready to take home the victory. So we're going to now go on board with Spectre, who I refer to as Mar, because that's what their name is, not their gamer tag. We go by names more than gamer tags in this. Has begun to slowly close down the gap. But not anywhere near enough that he needs to win the race. But I think Ma will happily take the championship lead as it stands at the end of this race. We will then be progressing onto Belgium in the next race, which will be once again the same format of 18-minute qualifying, and then a 100% race. Hopefully with no restart. But actually Spectre is fastest middle sector of the race, so he might be on for a fastest lap attempt here. And yeah, we're down into the 1 minute 29s now, the 29.7. There's a yellow in sector 2, but everybody looks okay. So we're now going to rise on board with Mohsen Rezai. Who I've just commentated Curse, but that is an incredible flick spin. Very well recovered there. But unfortunately, not the quickest way to do that corner, as somebody is having issue at Cops. Oh, it was. I believe it is somebody's retired car still driving, unless it was our leader having a bit of an issue. It was Jack Mir having an issue at Cops. So it was all looking a bit collected. There's a bit of an issue for a couple of drivers there now. This is the point where people's rhythms tend to get thrown a curveball as it stops becoming a sprint and becoming more of a small endurance to get to the end. We'll talk about slightly longer endurances. The Le Mans 24 Hours finished today. That is definitely more of a longer endurance than this one. But actually, from what I've heard, it was a crazy race, but in the hypercar category, I'm pretty sure that it finished in exactly the same order that they started in for the top 5. I'm pretty sure. And all of them finished as well. It was the number 7 Toyota from the number 8 Toyota, from the Alpine, and then the 2 Glickenhausers. Although we shouldn't really be giving them as much content on the sim racing side, as they did say it wasn't real racing, which of course we all wholeheartedly know is not true. Sim racing is real racing, but the cars are fake, or pretend that the racing is real. And maybe they should have run a few more simulations at Glickenhaus. A few more simulations may have been needed in the Red Bull camp, as Potro has DNF'd on the run up to Cops. By the looks of it, that is going to be race done. I am not sure how he's got there. We're going to ride on board with reporters to find out. Oh, the car has despawned, so we're not going to know what quite happened there. So now we are down to 8 surviving drivers at the moment. Actually, we're going to ride on board with our race leader, who is being reeled in a little bit by Mar. Just curious if this gap is going to begin to go down a bit more. Maybe we might have a fight for the lead if it involves another mistake that loses Jack Mir another 10 seconds. We will see. Stayed about even on this lap since I've started paying attention. But it's just gone down by half a second in one tiny interval and then gone straight back up, so that looks to be more of a glitch than anything else. But actually there's also a battle between Mohsen Rezai and Manugri potentially forming. Gap is only 5 seconds, so Mohsen Rezai can't afford many more mistakes. Otherwise Manugri might sense an opportunity. Although he did reset to track, so that is gonna be noted by the stewards. And if it's not allowed, that might have severe implications for his race. We will see. We'll check in with Thai Moto X. Who has been having a fairly quiet race in terms of things we've noticed on the broadcast. Certainly a much better race than Austria. It's been a really good improvement. As Mar sets the fastest lap of the race, we are down to a 29.490. People in the chat, does anybody know what the fastest lap time from Division 1 was? I guess I'm kind of curious. I might actually have it in a screenshot somewhere that I took of the final results of Division 1. Might be able to find out, I believe. So the fastest lap was a 1 minute 27.558 from Sandman. I think he may have put... Yeah, Sandman did stop again towards the end of the race. So mid to low 28 is where most people set their fastest laps. Henry has gone off at turn 2. Actually, someone did a 27.6. Rumax did a 27.6. But he also stopped again, I think. So, yeah, a mid 28 is what the split Division 1 drivers can do. As I think that's Reporters has spun on the exit and has done. No harm done though, no positions lost. So Mar's definitely pressing on, but I don't think it's going to amount to enough with quite a few seconds left to gain. And not enough laps to get that done without a mistake. So I'm going to open this up to the chat. Anybody in chat, if you've got any questions for me regarding F1 in general or league racing or this race, then just pop them in the chat as always, I'll be happy to answer any questions. You know, if you want to see your favourite driver, have a bit of screen time, you want to know what the predicted finishing results are, what strategy people are on, I will of course explain that. I'm going to ride with Mar, as he appears to be setting some fairly quick lap times at the moment. And that gap is going down now. So actually we'll have a look what Mar did on the previous lap. So yeah, if you look quite solid on the consistency, and the 29s on all of the last laps. Just trying to consolidate the gap, I think, between himself and Mohsen Rizai behind. He's now in fact 20 seconds. And maybe just trying to put pressure on Jack Mir. Jack Mir doesn't know about Mar's penalty. But they're about even now, as Jack Mir is responding on this lap. I think Mohsen Rizai will be very pleased about this result so far. Even Austria ended in the barrier quite quickly. The first version of this race, I believe he was taken out. He says he was taken out on the start line. As a yellow in sector 1 is this. Henry has spun and has recovered onto the track again. And away he goes. But as I was saying, Mohsen Rizai was taken out in the first attempt at this race and ended in the wall in Austria, so I think a third place will be a very good result for him, and he'll be very pleased with that result. As his biggest fan has popped another message into the chat. Gap's coming down quite a lot on this lap between Spectre and Jack Mir, so maybe this could be a fastest lap. Not quite a fastest lap, but it was a pretty quick one, I believe. I think that said a 29.7. It did say a 29.7. So is the consistency better? Let's have a look. Yeah, so Jack Mir's not managed to... Oh, Henry Hellbender's retired from the session. Jack Mir's not managed to get down to the 1-minute 29s on a consistent basis at the moment. It's only really Spectre who's able to run at that pace at the moment. If the pace advantage was a bit more, it'd be quite similar to the real Silverstone Grand Prix, with Hamilton hunting down Leclerc with the final few laps of the race. But I don't think this penalty... I don't know if that penalty is going to be removed or not. Manugri has had a spin coming out of Copse. That is going to give Mohsen Rizai a nice bit of breathing room for the last 9 laps. Which will mean he can consolidate that third place quite nicely. So I think most of these drivers are just planning to get to the end now. Manugri's going to pit for a set of soft tyres to try and steal the fastest lap. Actually, this would be a good opportunity for Mohsen Razai to do the same, given that he's definitely not going to lose the place to Manugri because Manugri's just come into the pits. I believe Reporters has just done the same as well. So it's enabling people to pit for a new set of tyres. And what would really spice this race up is if Jack Mir decided to and Mar didn't, and then Jack Mir would have to hunt down Mar for the win. That would be a interesting conclusion, but one I don't think that's going to occur. And actually, Manuvri is going to have to pass Time Moto X in order to get back that 4th place. But I think with new tyres, it's just a case of when is that going to happen. Ooh, not if you go on the grass. Now, this is where the tyre advantage will certainly help. Luckily, there is not anywhere near the dirty air effect of real F1 cars in this game. It's about 20% less dirty air that you get, I believe. The factor is 0.35-ish in real life, and it's 0.15 or something in the game, I think. Alex Gillen did a very good YouTube video about it. I would recommend having a look at that. But while I'm mentioning that, Manuvri has made a pass on the DRS quite comfortably there. And he's up into 4th place again. Mohsen Razai can definitely afford to pit and try and take this fastest lap if he so chooses to gamble with a bit of a pit stop instead of keeping it completely safe. But we will see. As Mar sets the fastest lap of 29.2. So it's a solid lap time, given he is not pulling any kind of late pit stop for tyres. It really is just all about the pace on the current strategy. But I think Jack Mir is definitely still looking comfortable. I say it again, it's only going to be a mistake. It's going to result in a position change for the lead. Manuvri has taken away the fastest lap with a 28.594. That's about what most of the people in Division 1 were doing on their standard strategies. And you needed a mid-27 if you wanted to get fastest lap, you'd need a mid-27 on a set of soft tyres towards the end of the race. Coming down the front, the yellow in sector 2. The lead is round! The lead is round! Jack Mir is round! Mar has taken the lead! I said it was comfortable and that a spin would be the only thing that would change that. And there's been a spin. I am not sure what the context behind that is, but what I do know is Jack Mir has had a spin, and now Mar is in the effective race lead, and he may be able to get that penalty removed. That penalty may be able to be struck off his name, as if he was just rejoining the track. I think it's totally fair to remove the penalty if he was just rejoining the track after having an off. And even so, he's got a few laps to try and bring that advantage up if he can. Now, has Jack Mir over-pushed the tyres? Over-pushed the fuel? We're going to find out. But I think it was just pushing so hard. As Mohsen Razai has gone for that option of a new set of tyres, but did unfortunately get a speeding penalty in the pits. But absolutely good strategic move here, because he'll come out comfortably ahead of Manugri and will have a nice new set of tyres to try and set a fastest lap to get that one extra point on his name. And points are extra crucial in this championship. A point for fastest lap carries the same weight as getting an extra point for one place improvement. Mati Peretz has got a penalty for ignoring blue flags. That is not good news for him. His day simply goes from bad to worse, I think. He will just be pleased to move on and take the points for 6th place. As Mar is now trying to run away. Actually have a look at Jack Mir to see if they can make an improvement on the gap and take back the lead, or if Jack Mir is really struggling and Mar have the pace. Seems to be extending, but not crazy amounts. So I'm not sure that Mars is going to be able to pull anywhere near enough 10 seconds to win it on track. It's going to be decided based on penalties and whether he can get it removed or not. Mohsen Razai is going to be given to set his fastest lap of the race attempt. Quite shortly, I think Reporters has spun on the exit of Stowe. Woodcote. Jack Mir continues the pursuit. Mohsen Razai is down to a 28.1. That is a solid fastest lap attempt. And it's not just an attempt, it's successful. It's going to be an extra point to his name in about 3 laps' time. But the real question that I'm afraid we won't be able to answer until it's been through the steward's room Is can Mar get that penalty removed? Was it justified? Or does Mar have a reason to get that one removed to claim the win? Either way, it will give him the championship lead, as Matej Perec is only in 6th place. Everything looks a bit comfortable for everybody at the moment. Well, actually, Mohsen Rezai has got to be a bit careful. Can't lose too much time to Manugri. As he does have 5 seconds more of penalties to worry about. The gap's going up a fair bit now after that mistake for Jack Mir, but it's not going to be enough to go up by 4.7 seconds in 3 laps, I don't think. That's now really 2.5. Yeah, there's only going to be one back marker. I'm not sure that Mar will catch Time Motor X before the end of the race. Up to 6 seconds, so it is getting bigger, but not quite enough, I don't think. Not unless there's a mistake or contact between Jack Mir and reporters. That's the only circumstances I can think where this doesn't get decided. And reporters has made that outcome a bit easier by having a little adventure off the track there. As Mohsen Rezai is off. Mohsen Rezai is off and Manugri is going to take over 3rd place. So that's another thing that's going to be decided in the stewards room by the looks of it. Manugri is actually given the place back, so that's interesting. We'll see. And has then absolutely sent Mohsen Rezai off the track. I think that's going to be another penalty on top of the resetting to track and potentially the incident with Matej Perec earlier in the race. Not been a clean one from Manugri whatsoever. He was stopped to let Mohsen Rezai go again. They've started the final lap. The gap's up to 6.8, so it's in a valiant attempt from Mar to get this 10 seconds. He's put in some brilliant laps, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough to get the win on track. We will have to see what happens in the steward's office. These guys are going to have 2 laps, as they haven't been lapped. They are going to start their final lap at the end of this one. And Manugri has gone up the inside there. Cleanly done this time. And if Mohsen Rezai's got the stream on in the background, or his friend is telling him, he will know that Manugri is definitely under investigation for a few things, and he may still have his place on the podium. It's going to be Mar that takes it on track, but for now it is going to be Jack Mir who does take home the win. And I'm going to watch these guys to see if Mohsen Rezai has got enough to take back his position on the podium on track. wide from Manugri. It doesn't look like it's going to make a difference. The final couple of corners, not really anything Mohsen Razai could have done there. It's just going to be Manugri that takes it provisionally. The two Peretz and reporters have already crossed the line, so we're just waiting on Time Moto X to come home in P5 to round out the race. A race of many controversies, incidents, technical difficulties and battles. There'll be a lot to unpick in the stewards' room. And we have had a lot to unpick from the commentary box. And there we have the final results. Mohsen Razai has popped something in the chat, as has Henry Hellbender. Thanks for the stellar coverage, Lewis. Hoping to give you more to talk about as the season progresses. I hope so too, Henry/Bullet. It was a good job, unlucky not to finish, but good progress again this week. And Mohsen Razai says, thanks, Lewis and Bucks. No problem. Congratulations on your 4th place, and stay posted. The stewards room's going to be a bit busy. You may see yourself end up on the podium post-race. I'm just going to have a quick flick through the race director in case Sparks needs to have a look at that. But there we have it. Stay tuned for round 3, as it says on the screen. It'll be the same time again. We will be going to the Ardennes Forest in Belgium for another 100% race at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. That has been an interesting race, and I hope you have all enjoyed that race when we eventually got all of the technical difficulties sorted. And we are going to sign off now. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and week, and I will see you all very shortly. Bye for now.